Hi there, welcome back. You know, it's National Home Ownership Month, so this whole month is going to be about all the things you really need to think about before you buy a house. And some things after you buy a house, it kind of all goes together, right? And today I want to tell you a few 5 tips I want to help you with when you are contemplating becoming a homeowner. And one of the first things that I recommend is that when you're out looking for a house, first of all, it's kind of fun, isn't it? Just kind of see how everyone's decorated, stagers, how they, put the house together, and you can really envision yourself in the house, and you start thinking about, going to hang up this picture here, and the kids can play over there, and put a little tree house, or that kind of thing, all the fun stuff. But what I'm suggesting that you do is drive around the neighborhood because I absolutely love my little casita. I was strictly looking at the house and the stager had done an awesome job. I got what I wanted. I wanted a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. 3 bedrooms have best resale, hint, hint. But I did not realize that I was across the street from a park. And first of all, my particular city has a lot of parks, and I thought that was a really good for the community is that each neighborhood seems to have, there's a lot of play areas for the kids, and that's important. First of all, I don't have any kids, but I mean, I thought that was a nice city component for, I guess, the developers, or rather, the planning department required that the developers put in open space. So that's a positive. But on the other hand, a park gets a little bit busy. So depending on how you feel about that, that is a consideration. So if you have kids in school, you want to drive around and make sure that there's a good school nearby or whatever. But yeah, I recommend that you do drive if you find once you find the house you like, because when you're just looking, you're looking, and there's a lot of decisions to be made. So chances are you're probably not going to choose the first house you look at. But once you have looked at the first, I don't know, depending what kind of market you're in, it might be 3 houses, it might be 20 houses. But whenever you look at the house and you have found the one, before you put in your offer, time permitting, drive the neighborhood. But more importantly, also drive around the house at different times of day. So you want to go on weekends, you want to go in the evening when everyone's home, and you just want to get a good feel for whether or not that is a place you want to live for the long term, because when you buy a house, it is a big deal and you will be there for more than a minute. So that is one thing that I would strongly recommend that you do when you're once you're ready to buy. And the other thing, I'm telling you all the things that I didn't do, so I want you to learn from my mistakes. First of all, change your locks. That's an easy, understandable thing that you need to do, because chances are the realtor, left keys, may have given copies of the keys to the, people who are going to paint or do repairs, maybe other agents in the office, and you also don't know who the previous owner gave keys to, right? So you want to make sure that you are safe in the house. You don't want someone coming back because they have a key. So make sure you change the locks like immediately. But the part that I really want to emphasize is that you also use 3-inch screws in your the door hardware, like on your hinges and your strike plate around the door, so that no one can kick the door in. Now, that sounds a little grim, but again, I want you to be safe and I want you to be happy in your home. So change your locks and use the longer screws in the door hardware. So whether it's your forever home or a 5-year home, like, depending again on where you are in your life cycle, um, you don't have to do everything at once. Now, I'm a very big fan of Home Goods, and I spent some quality time there. I do get lots of compliments on my decor, but you don't have to do it all at once, right? Take your time, and you may be able to use the furniture that you brought from your previous location, or if you're just starting out, you will need to furnish the house, but don't break the bank and don't try and do everything all at once. You're going to be here for a while. So pace yourself, number one. And number two, try and budget for it so that you're not running up bills, because remember, now you're paying a mortgage, and all those credit cards that you paid off so that you could qualify for the loan, don't run them back up, because that will make you unhappy. Now, what I do recommend is that you take a page out of multifamily living. I also manage property, and this is one really good idea that I believe that homeowners should adapt, and that is to put away X amount of dollars per month into your replacement fund. Because at some point you're gonna have to buy a washer and dryer. At some point you're gonna have to buy a new stove, or God forbid the furnace. They do last a long time, but at some point, depending on how old the house is or how long you're going to be there, you may need to replace the furnace. And I don't want you to have to go into debt to do it. So property management companies use what they call replacement reserves. And so when you kind of price out these items, say a furnace is, well, depending on which type, it's going to cost around $5,000, right? So $5,000, what is that, $450 a year, $400 a year? Okay, I'm not doing this in my head. That was spur of the moment. I know that $6,000 a year is $500. So you work backwards from that, okay? So $400 a month is that you put away in your replacement reserves, because within X amount of time, you're going to have to replace the furnace. So, or whatever, just make sure you have some money set aside each month so that you're not having to hit up the credit cards or to get a home equity loan, because again, I want you to be able to afford your home and be happy because you're not riddled with debt. And as a homeowner, though, you will need to replace these things, so plan for them. That's really all I was trying to get you to do, is to budget for them and plan for them. So I think I've told you that all those little pieces. If you decide that, when you decide, because I want you to, everyone should have their own home. That is critical for wealth building, but you already need a place to live. So why not own instead of rent? So those might have been some things that you may or may not have thought about, but I hope that you can, you consider them useful. Check the neighborhood out at different times of the day. Know that you need to change your locks and use longer screws. Don't try and do everything at once when you are furnishing and decorating, and set aside some replacement reserve monies. And don't go broke trying to buy the house. Buy a little bit below your budget so that you can enjoy yourself. So I hope you found this information helpful. You can save this video to watch for later and share it with a friend. If you have any questions, please leave your comments below. I am a licensed broker and I'd be happy to be your realtor. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Cheers.